Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Kate. So I'm going to be making something that I've already made as part of this low carb diet. So day 10 of, the challenge. And what I'm going to do differently though is add mushrooms to that low carb gravy that I had previously made. So I'm basically just going to be making that. Again, I'm going to probably play with the video and speed it up here and there. I know the very first thing I'm going to do, though, is cook rice, right? And you're probably wondering, why are you cooking rice? You're doing a low carb diet. Well, because I'm not cooking for just myself. And I do have the discipline to make something and not partake in eating it. So because rice can be a little bit more tricky in a sense of getting it to where it is completely tender, I'm going to start with that. And rice is super easy. If you don't know, you're going to. It's very simple to make. The first thing I'm going to do, I've got all these pans out here, is just take a small pot. Now, depending on how much rice you're making, you may want to use a bigger pot. I'm just using this small one. I only plan on making 1 cup of rice. So I'm going to turn this burner on to basically right above a medium. So right here. Now, for every cup of rice, you do 2 cups of water. So I'm going to just let that come to a boil. I am also going to add butter. A good healthy teaspoon. And I'm going to add some minced garlic. So garlic has a lot of health benefits. I've mentioned this before. No, I'm not going to get into specifics because I don't even really know exactly. I just know garlic is good for you. The other thing is that adding the garlic to the rice is going to make it to where nobody can really tell, and it is going to give it some pretty good flavor. I am also going to add some pepper and some salt. And just let that come to a boil. And while we are waiting, I'm actually going to turn the heat up a little bit more, closer to a high. While we are waiting on that, I'm going to get the asparagus and mushrooms prepped. So I've already got some mushrooms that I've rinsed. They were already pre-cut, but I'm going to cut them smaller. Now, the boys aren't going to want mushrooms in their gravy, so I will also be making 2 different types of gravy. One with mushrooms and one without. And again, this is a low carb gravy, so no flour or cornstarch. And then I've just got a bundle of asparagus here that I'm going to rinse off and get ready. Interesting fact about asparagus, it does change the way your urine smells, and only a certain percent of the population have the enzyme that can detect this enzyme or something along those lines, but it's pretty neat. So anyway, if you eat asparagus and you smell, a little, your urine smells a little funky, that's why. Now I have had this asparagus for just over a week. It needs to be cooked, but as you can see, this is essentially what the tip should look like. And so this one is really no good. And really quick, I want to jump back over to the rice because it's boiling. And what we're going to do now is just add in 1 cup of rice and basically the water for the rice. You are going to want to let it come to a boil again, which it should very quickly. And then you're going to turn it to a lower heat setting. So, got it set now to where it's right about there. That's low, that's off, that's, I don't even know, take a guess. And I am going to set a timer for 20 minutes on the rice. That's on average about how long it should take it. You also never want to have water left over when you've made rice. Usually it should absorb all of that water. All right, so again, just going through this asparagus. All right. Now I always prefer to cut a good chunk off of the bottom. If you don't, it's very rough to chew. So I'm going to just get rid of all of that. And then here we've got our asparagus for this evening as well. I'm just going to stick that in with the mushroom. All right, we are moving on and getting that chicken started. I am putting this pan on a medium heat, adding about a tablespoon's worth of butter. As well as some minced garlic. And I do have just 1 chicken breast here. I was thinking I was only feeding 2 people, but my other son may be accompanying us for dinner. So we're gonna hopefully make this stretch, but we'll see. I just rinsed off that chicken breast, and I'm gonna kind of fling it around in here. Now, I really do want to get as much juice and drippings from this chicken as possible. So I am also going to add some water to it at some point to help, you know, just basically produce more drippings or juice that I can use for the gravy. And to be honest, I'm not even 100% sure what I'm doing with the asparagus right now. I think I may end up just throwing it into the oven. And then, of course, my favorite seasoning. So I'm really picky about the seasonings I use, and I know it seems like I use the same ones over and over. The same one over and over, rather. It's because I can trust it, and a lot of seasonings do have MSG in them, and I'd rather not have that in my food. So while that is cooking, I am going to prep this pan back here. For the gravy. So of course, butter, and I think I'm just going to use what butter I have left here. I would say probably about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to do, I know I don't normally measure, but I'm going to do 1/3 of half and half here as well. And again, just prepping that, getting it ready. I'm also going to add in some garlic powder, some salt, and some pepper. I also know I'm going to thicken this gravy back here using sour cream. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that squirted in there as well. It's going to be probably about 1/3 cup worth of sour cream too. Just checking on the rice. A lot of times with rice, once you've got the lid on it and the heat turned down, you just want to let it simmer until it's soft and ready. I'm also going to turn this pan down to that heat there. And I'm actually going to go ahead and add some water. I'm really still deciding what I want to do with the asparagus, and I think what I've decided is I'm going to cook it in the oven. So I just have a cookie sheet lined with foil. Obviously, I use a lot of butter. I'm going to throw some butter down there. Preheat the oven to about 350. And I'm going to put this in the oven to get that butter to melt while it's preheating. So this juice that we see in there is what I'm going to be using with the gravy. So I'm going to go ahead and just drain some of that off. Actually, as much as I can get right now. And in doing that, our chicken is going to continue to brown like it is here, which is what I want. And then to just take a quick peek at that rice again. And again, I know this chicken is not ready. But I am doing this so that I can see where it's at and to ensure that I cook it all the way and it remains tender. I'm going to cover that and pull our pan out for the asparagus. What, bud? Oh, okay. What? Smells good?
Yeah.
Good. There's a mushroom that got mixed in. So I'm just spreading those out on there. And salting them. Pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and just put them back in the oven. I don't know how long to cook these for, so I'm going to check them in 15 minutes. So the chicken's looking really good. It's pretty much looking like it is already done. I'm gonna see what more we can get out of this pan. Now the rice, I am going to turn down all the way to a low at this point. It does have 2 minutes left. But really, rice is tricky. It even gets me sometimes. It just needs to continue to steam. So actually what I'm going to do is just turn it off and let it steam for a while. Chicken is still cooking. Let's get started on this gravy back here. So I'm going to turn that to a medium heat. And that's just the timer for the rice, which is turned off after 20 minutes of simmering and going to just sit and steam. And we want that to come to a boil, more or less a simmer, not really a boil. And the meat is done, so I'm going to turn that off. And at this point, we're just waiting on that gravy back there. And I think what I've just decided is I'm going to pull my portion of the food aside because I do want the chicken, the mushrooms, and the gravy all mixed together as one. So again, very similar to a previous video I have posted, but again, it's going to be different. So now that that's doing its thing, I'm turning that to a low. What, bud? Oh. Good. It's pretty much ready. You want to say hi to everyone?
Behind my door.
Oh. Maybe not. Okay. trying to figure out how I want to pour this. So I'm going to take about 1/3 of a cup of that gravy. And really, it doesn't even seem like I needed that much. And then I'm going to take all of these mushrooms, which is a lot now. But mushrooms are good for you. They are also a good source of, I think it was zinc or vitamin D. I don't know. Let me know if you know. So this is essentially my meal. This is what I'm going to be eating. So we've got just the chicken, the low carb gravy, and mushrooms. And then the boys will be having chicken, rice, and gravy. The asparagus. 6 minutes. So I really don't know what I'm doing with this. Like, do I need to flip it? I don't know. So correction, I'm also having asparagus with this. And this is still cooking just on a low heat. This almost reminds me of like a chicken marsala minus any cheese, but you know, I really don't even know if there's cheese in that. I just think that there is. And I have this inkling to put Parmesan cheese on half of this asparagus. So that's what I'm going to do as well. And I may even throw together a salad. My boys do like to eat salad, so just in case this isn't enough food, they can have some salad too. But we'll see. There's also chips with the homemade salsa I made earlier, so make sure to check out that video as far as how to make super simple salsa. So I'm just going to stick these back in for the remaining 4 minutes. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. It's going to be hot. That's good. I like where the mushrooms are at. So I'm definitely turning that one off because I don't want the mushrooms to get too mushy. I can't say it's the best. Maybe just because I did put so many mushrooms in it. But it is good. And that's important. It's something to eat low carb. I do want to point out that this gravy, I know it's not as thick as it was last time I'd made it. Again, going in and adding some sour cream back into it would help it. And at this point, since I've done what I wanted with the low carb, I could go through and thicken that with flour, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it. I think it'll be fine. The asparagus has 25 seconds, but I'm going to pull that out now. I don't know how to turn off the timer on the microwave. And so here we've got some oven roasted asparagus with Parmesan. My low carb dinner, chicken and mushrooms and a gravy. And then we've got the boys' dinner, which is going to be rice. So again, you should not have any water left when you're making rice. And then their gravy and their chicken. So here is day 10's dinner. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. Or if you have any suggestions, I don't know, whatever. Also hit that thumbs up button for me. I would greatly appreciate that. And as always, thank you so much for your time. I'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm really excited about the rest of the meals for this week. So just something to look forward to. Chicken vegetable soup, jalapenos stuffed with cheese, and chicken wrapped in bacon, and cabbage rolls, which I think will kind of be a first for me. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up different from this. So make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.